Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video on my YouTube channel. I'm Nicholas and today we're back with our third Overwatch reaction video. In our first video we reacted to all the Overwatch cinematics that have ever been in a very big 2-hour-long video. Then just last week we then reacted also to all the origin stories of all Overwatch characters that have received one. And today we're going to be checking out the 3 new Overwatch anime shorts for the 3-part series Genesis. That means we're going to be checking out part 1 called Dawn, part 2 called Innocence, and part 3 called Rebirth. I have no idea who will be included in any of those. It does look like maybe it will be about Echo, maybe about Zenyatta and all that type of stuff. We will see. We'll see it in a moment. I actually heard about this thing happening, but I didn't know that the first part's already released. So when I then saw, oh shit, part 1 and 2 are already out, I thought, like, you know what? Now we can wait for the third one and do one big video instead. So that's what we're now doing. So let's not waste any more time and get into the videos. First of all, though, once again, big thank you for all the, for all the love on the other 2 reaction videos. So let's have some fun with this as well. Let's start things off with Genesis. Part 1, Dawn. 5 minutes long. It will get consecutively longer.
Ground forces deployed to Rally Point Green.
Also, Overwatch is coming to Steam.
What's your inbound?
What's gonna be the big catch there, though?
Battalion spotted your sector, 50 clicks south-southeast.
Copy that. Delta, take positions. Overwatch on site. Taking heavy fire. Sky, confirm targets.
Affirm. Units approaching.
When is this
Grid
playing?
1-9 Charlie.
Before the war? Is it during the war?
Sky, get out of here!
Dramatic orchestral music.
No matter what you call them, warbots, tin cans, they were soulless machines. But the truth is, we were scared. I was scared.
I like the style. It reminds me a bit of
To be
that one
the
Superman
beginning of
animated show. Also Reinhardt is in it, okay.
But in that moment, it felt like the end of humanity.
Okay. Maybe we will get a bigger look into how the robots were made.
Life before the war was
Okay.
extraordinary. Anything was possible.
It really
We
feels
had
like the drug become
implemented
human.
God programs.
Before the
The
war,
next
this
generation of artificial intelligence became omnipresent.
Even though the androids were
They controlled
more
most of
advanced,
our
that's-
infrastructures, like the food distribution systems aimed at helping against famine, poverty. We were no longer defined by our mistakes. No. The AIs were saving us from them.
Interesting
Artificial
timing.
intelligence was running systems to make our lives better, but what was really exciting was combining it with robotics.
This is very
Omnica Corp started building a new line of state-of-the-art robots.
very
Omnics
important at the
would
moment.
Eventually eliminate the need for
I
humans
can
to
do pretty
all
good,
those
but,
idle, mundane, often dangerous jobs.
Everyday needs.
So we had the
That
AI,
takes
just
power
like
at your
in Teslas or
fingertips.
whatever.
Line of robots
Then they
that put
decided to
power
combine
by
it with the
your
robots
side.
directly.
And
Which I
geared
think
up
we're
to put
working on at the
power
moment
in
actually as
their
well already.
hands.
I just recently saw,
Always looking to what's next.
had to keep trying to make better robots, so...
Sure, we had the pedal to the metal. But
Is
who
Blizzard
was really
predicting the
paying
future?
attention to the road?
Look, Omnica kept making robots smarter, and they made life easier and safer, and as you know...
Just like the
business is
android in the
all about
beginning of
what's
Detroit,
next.
And what was next?
who was basically the
Was
friend of
Mina.
the kids.
And in Tech Talk, Omnica Corps announced today that Dr. Mina Liao, the science prodigy and eminent visionary in robotics, will develop the next generation of Omnics.
Omnica Corp has made a lot of strides, and, well, we're going to do better. What I mean is, they've done great. We've done great. But it's time to reach for the stars.
They wanted too
Frankly,
much, huh?
I had my doubts. Dr. Liao was a legend in her field, but we were asking her to push the limits of what many thought was already perfection.
They thought they were already, you know, 10-10. She wants to make an 11 out of 10, and
Somebody should have put a stop to it.
that's where things
It
went too
wasn't
far.
science. It was arrogance.
Ooh, that's a great line.
When it came down to the
Arrogance in
moment
sense of you can't
truth,
get enough. Isn't it perfect already? You want, you know, you're testing your,
no idea what was about to happen.
you're testing your luck. That's a great word to choose.
It didn't
Arrogance.
just activate.
The scientist
She
is too
was
arrogant to
born.
accept that what they've already done is enough.
Life before the war was extraordinary. Anything was possible.
Wow, the
But-
soundtrack.
It was all about to change.
Damn! We're going really deep with this, but this is again what I love so much about it. Because here's the thing. Oh, that's going to be the new season, right? I think that's a new season. See, the thing is, I keep comparing all of these Overwatch cinematics with the League ones. The thing is, what makes these actually a bit more intriguing is how this also tackles real life issues. You see, the League of Legends world is obviously much more fantasy, and it's its own regions, totally, you know, their own thing, and we just have never really seen yet those things. I mean, Arcade actually, I guess, can somewhat go into that direction, though. I think especially with Class, and you know, I think that's actually something they talk about as well. But I feel like Overwatch really tries to make their cinematic universe feel like the real world, and like mentioned, we compared it to the Avengers already as well, you know. And in this case, you see really here how they try to perfectionize society. They try to make the robots and the AI, and they already basically had it perfect. They had the perfect AI to help you in daily life, make everything better. And then they, as the scientists perfectly chose to say, the arrogance just took over. The scientists couldn't accept that they already created the perfect AI, and they basically overstruck the limit. And I guess that, you know, that additional bit they gave into those into the AI and the robots was ultimately too much and made them, you know, try to take over. And this is once again the thing. I still have to watch a video that like all compounds it, but I'm slowly starting to really put the puzzle pieces together onto how now this all happened, what the main storyline is. You know, before the war, it's actually kind of similar to Star Wars in that sense. You know, you always have this like a Battle of Yavin. I think, you know, timeline that you can think of. In this case, wasn't that? I think there's one before the first Death Star and one the Battle of Yavin, like mentioned, where in episode 2, where all the Jedis go to the arena and everything. Or was it the Battle of Genesis? I'm a bit clouded that one now with my memory, but you know what I mean, you know. So this is basically a good way to look at it for the Overwatch Cinematic Universe as well. Can you call it like that, by the way? Overwatch Cinematic Universe, the OCM? No, the OCU, the OCU. It's OCU. But yeah, hella interesting, very very intriguing. Let's see what other two have in store. This part, Genesis Part 2, Innocence. I see Bjorn on the thumbnail. Back where we left off.
Aurora was the first of us to awaken.
That's her. That's Aurora. Was Aurora Echo? Was Echo the first?
Can you imagine how she must have
Oh, that's
felt?
not Zenyatta. That's grand.
Born in a laboratory, surrounded by your creators. And then you learn the truth, that there is no other creature like you anywhere. That you are truly alone.
So I think Genesis will slowly focus on, you know, that part of the
Dr.
storyline.
Liao discovered that Aurora was sentient, that she was alive,
I mean, wasn't that the
Thinking.
goal?
choosing.
It was.
That's the difference.
hard.
AI was obviously
I
created to
didn't want
do
to
specific
believe
things
it
that you
first.
can control.
She
That's no longer
passed
the case.
every single test we could come up with. Every one.
And then the entire world found out. Dr. Liao committed career suicide by saying Aurora was alive. But her testimony was
But
very
why? I thought that
compelling.
was the idea.
just
I thought
in.
she talked that she wanted to do exactly that.
was declared a sentient being.
Granted her freedom and released into the world.
I mean, this is not the thing that I'm wondering about. AI was already such a huge part of daily life there, but now apparently it's an issue because that robot is now alive. Didn't she literally say that was her goal to make, that she wanted to make a live robot? Why is it now a problem? What? Or did I misunderstood that? I thought she literally said that she wants to create the next step, that we're reaching for the stars, which in this case is that, you know? Or I guess, you know, I mean, some people always be like, yeah, we want robots, but like those we can control, you know, robots that we are in control of. But obviously this is here not the case. This robot is its own being.
I was so
Aww.
relieved. She had a chance to actually live free. And she made the most of it.
Aurora had been born into a world that she didn't understand. She wanted to see more of it.
Stunning.
She
Once
went
again, obviously, big
everywhere,
credit to the art team, to the art
learning,
style.
watching,
Hopefully they're getting
seeing
their
how
well-earned
humans treated each
credit and
the good and the bad.
revenue for
But
it.
eventually, she had questions about the nature of her own existence.
Interesting though, she's really just alone now. The fact that she isn't
About
just constantly being looked at by
her soul.
everybody feels
And she could only find
unrealistic.
those
I feel like
answers
if that would
alone.
happen in the real world, no matter where you would go, you'd be surrounded by hundreds of people. Thousands maybe even.
Oh, well, while all that was happening, there was a lot more scrutiny into Omnica Corp's operations. It didn't go well for us. Overspending, mismanagement, fraud even. But in a couple of years, Omnica was done.
All those
One
automated
could think Elon Musk
production
took over.
lines completely abandoned and
I wouldn't be
unmonitored
surprised.
for years. By humans, anyway.
Breaking news out of Nigeria. Countless social media reports of an invasion underway.
It remains unclear exactly what's happening in Central Africa, but we do have some footage from the scene.
Also getting eyewitness reports of
Okay, but how did that
robots
then
designed for
happen?
combat.
Did someone steal
We were
the?
caught by surprise.
Did someone steal the blueprint?
The
for Aurora?
world was caught by surprise.
Who took over? Who managed to, you know? Also, why would they be
Omnics
still
were
standing there?
attacking everywhere. It seemed like
got
every
robots.
country was hit from every direction, all at once.
Damn. Damn.
We
Okay,
didn't
that's actually
know it
kind of
then, but
brutal.
One of the God programs, originally designed to help humanity, had hijacked Omnica's production lines to build warbots of its own design.
Okay, but who
They
did
called
that?
it Anubis. It was built to maintain ecological balance of all things. For conservation.
Its goals could not be achieved without the end of humanity.
It can't have just happened by
And it used
accident,
us
right?
to carry out its plan.
Did I once again miss a bit here? Like, someone must have gone in there and done that, right?
We were running out of hope. But there
Now.
was a little.
At
Only
least
a few
Overwatch
teams
is still
across
there.
the world were able to mount a real defense.
Soldier, I think that. Oh, I think that
The best of
was
the best joined the special strike team.
Jobjorn,
Overwatch.
Aina. I think the other one was actually Reaper before we got taken over because of double, you know.
It was a brilliant decision.
Yeah,
to
Soldier,
recruit
Jobjorn,
Dr.
Reinhardt, Aina.
Who
That's
knew
Rebirth,
more
yeah.
about Omnics than she did.
Damn, actually kind of sad that he turned evil. Oh, these five were the OG,
Those
huh?
first
Reinhardt,
victories
Jobjorn, Aina,
showed the
Soldier,
world
and
what
Reaper.
Overwatch could do. Soon the strike team was joined by a whole army.
Crazy though that these five make such a big
recruits
impact.
like me were always amazed by what the core team could do. Overwatch had the impossible objective of winning the war.
But again, who's leading the Omnic side?
Sometimes it seemed we might actually pull it off. Anubis didn't sleep, didn't feel fear, and didn't feel despair.
Was it just a program that built itself?
But it also couldn't feel hope. That was what Overwatch gave us. And even then,
Them robot
we
chicks.
had to wonder if
Not robot
hope
armor chick.
was going to be enough.
Damn. Also kind of like Star Wars, right? This one was just a big AT&T. Okay, though, but you gotta clean me up about that section. Oh yeah, that was a badass shot here with Rebirth, and you know, but you gotta clean me up still about that. I feel like I've missed a section. Unclear what's happening. It just all happened out of nowhere. Omnics were attacking everywhere. It seemed like every country was hit. We didn't know it then, but one of the God programs, originally designed to help humanity. Okay, so now I understand this. Okay, so the robots we're seeing all right now, this was actually already like a blueprint made, in case they needed them, right? Like, let's say aliens come down to Earth, you know, then they have this God program already installed, and then they can make these robots to help them out. But somehow somebody abused that program in the code and, you know, made it use it for the robots to stand up against their creators. Is that what it is? Or how did it, you know, it feels, they didn't really tell me now how this happened. Maybe this will be now in the third part, actually. You know, my questions will be answered in a moment, but that's not still what I'm wondering. I understand, okay, the God program was already in there, and it was just, you know, how did it trigger? I guess that's the right word to choose. How did it trigger? I think we will get our answers here in Rebirth. Maybe. Find it out.
The United Nations created Overwatch, and we won some victories. We thought the tide had turned. Unfortunately, it did not quite work out that way. But life had to go on.
Damn. What a visual. Everywhere's war, runes right around them, but the kids gotta go to school.
Any battle we won,
Hey,
the Anubis program,
you know,
was learning from its defeat.
I'm throwing this in right now just as you know. You know what this also would work with really well? In a real-time strategy type of game like Command & Conquer or Stronghold, or even what was the other game? I think there was a Star Wars game in a similar way. If you know what Stronghold is, and if you know what Command & Conquer is, then you know what I'm talking about. I think this would work really well in that setting, actually, as well.
We could never
looking at all these
beat
different
it the
robot
same
types,
way twice.
and you know, that's something they could actually think about. I'm already surprised they didn't go for a card game as well, like Riot did with League.
Seemed inevitable. And I know I had no choice in the matter. I was under the control of the Anubis program.
The Anubis program?
But it haunts me.
Who made that? How did it happen?
All the Omnics had their major subroutines overridden and controlled by a lone god program.
That's what happens.
All except one.
Aurora?
Aurora.
Why are the subtitles so behind? Okay, interesting though, but again, okay. Everything the AI knew was overridden by the program. Who installed the program? So the program was already installed, but who triggered it?
Her sentience meant that she was immune to the Anubis directives. But if the AI could interface with all these Omnics, maybe Aurora could too.
And she became the savior?
She was one of a kind. But we had found a way to replicate her. To transmit her.
Ooh, I love that one, the second part already as well. These
so
quick, you know.
high.
Aww. She has to make a sacrifice. She has to, you know, to be able to create more of her.
Whatever Aurora was looking for on her journey to Shambali, in that moment, she had found it.
That was
We were
the
pretty
end of her
confident
journey,
we knew what the
sacrificing
results would
herself
be.
for the greater good.
But I will never fully understand what really happened in there.
Soundtrack again. Insane. Oh, what a great shot. That shot was incredible. With your face, you know. Reach for the stars.
Aurora gave us a chance.
Something, everything, changed. It was the strangest thing I ever saw. That moment would be known as the Awakening.
For the first time in our existence, we were suddenly given a choice.
Again, why are the subtitles so behind? I was catching we've got into it.
Some chose to lay down their weapons. Some continued to fight the humans.
Ooh, okay, that's cool though.
But some of us chose to turn against the AI that
It's not
held us captive.
You know, it's not that suddenly everybody stops.
We had a choice.
It's that, you know, some people got the same mind as Aurora did, and some decided to, you know, and the other.
It would take some time, but it was the
Others would,
start
you
of
know,
us
remain their way.
winning the war. The strikes and counter-strikes eventually drove the enemy forces to collapse. By some small miracle, we infiltrated and quarantined Anubis in Cairo. Months later, the war was over. We had won. I got to know some of them. They are like us. Reflections of us. Some are no
Reflections of us, reflection on the screen, very
Some
smart.
I would trust with my life. I suppose we all had an awakening.
An awakening, from the humans.
Of course I remember.
The awakening of, yes, we can trust them.
For one brief moment, we were all connected.
I very love the dialogue and the
What I
lyrical
remember
choices
more
in
than
this.
anything else is her message.
Very well written.
My friends,
When I was born, I was overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by the sudden rush of senses, emotions, choices. I was excited. Alive. It was frightening. But I found in facing fear, there is freedom. And through freedom, you can find your own path. I have chosen to share the discovery with you.
I love their little faces, they're so cute.
I wish I could stay. You have this one life. Choose well.
You have this one life.
Choose well.
Choose well.
Epic! Once again, the music. And that's Rebirth. So this is how the war actually ended. The war, actually, not necessarily. Again, just because, you know, her sacrifice didn't really just turn off all the robots out there. It just, you know, led to everybody getting their own will. some remained with it, some remained hostile, because that's the thing, he saw a lot of things around the human world, and some decided even after that, you know, we still want to fight humans and creators, while others then laid on their weapons and helped, which is really cool to see. Now again though, I still am not entirely sure about how this turning point happened, where, like mentioned, this Anubis program took over. Did it by itself? Did Anubis program itself that was already installed, this God program, did it just made it, you know, just infiltrated everything by its own, or was, like mentioned, somebody triggering it? Because again, Reaper at least wasn't there yet. I don't think it was Mora either, right? Who we saw would ultimately end up creating Reaper, or, like, you know, giving him the armor and whatever, and the mask alongside Doomfist probably too. So I'm not sure. I would really like to have a better explanation for that. Maybe I've already, like, now explained it for myself, but I'm just not entirely sure, so gladly claim me up about all of that. Otherwise, this series was really intriguing. Like mentioned, this is, you know, this is kind of what I wanted to see for some characters. This was really a deep dive. This really gave you a long and detailed look into a story section of this long timeline in the Overwatch cinematic universe, in this case of how did the war start, what was the turning point of it, you know, this war that we kept hearing about, the war that we saw for Bastion, the war Soldier talked about, and all that type of stuff, right? The war that was the original Overwatch fought in. You know, very cool to see a bigger picture of that. There's probably still so much potential, but so much more. Well, not just this war, but everything that happened after, maybe even stuff that came before. Still, you know, very excited for more Overwatch cinematics in the future. Very excited for the new season to start next month as well. And all I can say is that I once again had a lot of fun with this, enjoyed it a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed my reaction plus thoughts. If you did, leave a like down below to show me you did, your thoughts and answers to my questions down in the comments as well. And as always, if you enjoy what I'm doing, if you want to support me, then gladly sub as well. It would help me a lot. Like mentioned, we will definitely be playing the Overwatch season when it comes out, definitely on Twitch. I might be doing another gameplay video soon for it on YouTube, or other than that, I look for the recommendations you guys give me and check out some of the handmade videos about Overwatch and its story. So look out for that. Other than that, I will be playing Pikmin 4 all weekend on stream as well, and a lot of other stuff, so if you want to join in for that, gladly do so. Other than that, stay safe, and happy, and see you again soon on my channel.